What if I tell you that the only thing that you need to get a job as a software engineer with a higher salary than 99% of the people, it's a simple 3-step system. This is the system that I use to get a 6-figure salary job at an aerospace startup having no previous experience in aerospace at the age of 24. I'm going to explain you the 3 steps of the system one by one. Step number 1, get ready for job hunting. Job hunting is a game of numbers. The more opportunities you generate, the more likely it is that you get what you want. But before starting to generate opportunities, it's important that all the one-time things that you have to do are done before you start. Because then when you start, you have no excuses to do anything else than generating opportunities. You have to do this quickly. You cannot spend more than 1 or 2 days in what I'm going to tell you in this step. Prepare your resume. Decide what are the positions, the roles that you want to apply for, and prepare a resume for each of them. Probably with one resume it's enough, but there are some people that at the same time they don't mind on working as a front-end engineer or back-end engineer. They don't have a lot of experience in any of them and they have worked in both and they are fine with both jobs. That's fine. Prepare 2 resumes. Now, how to prepare your resume. This is not the topic of the video, but I'm going to give you a few tips that will make your resume much better than 95% of the people. First, put a picture of yourself in the first page of the resume. Humans trust more faces than text. Please pick a professional picture, and if you don't have a professional picture, go and take a professional picture. Don't put the picture from when you graduate from university or zoom in a picture with your friends that appear your face. Don't do that. Just pick a professional picture and use it in your resume. In the first page, put a short description of yourself, something that when someone goes to read your resume, it's the first thing that you see, and say there what is the position that you're looking for, and 2-3 things about you that stand out. As an example, in my resumes, I used to write things like, I am a one-man army and I can tackle almost any software project by myself. That's a short description that stands out and says that I am a very proactive person, which is something that companies look for. And the last tip is, please, for God's sake, be concise. Don't have a 7 pages resume or a presentation. I've seen crazy things. 2-3 maximum. 3 pages for someone that has been working 40 years, okay? You don't need more than 1 or 2 pages. Don't tell things like you like playing guitar. You're looking for a job for software engineer. Playing guitar is not part of the job. If you like bungee jumping, I don't mind if you like bungee jumping. Please be short, concise. The people who will read your resume will read thousands of resumes. They will thank you a lot that you are concise and you only write 1 or 2 pages going straight to the point. If you follow these tips, you already have a really good resume. The idea here is to have a few resumes that you don't have to modify each time that you want to apply for an offer. Next thing is to decide what is the salary that you want. Choose this salary according to your experience and your expectation on how much value you can give, but be slightly optimistic, because what I found is that people usually don't trust enough on how much they can make. Also decide what are those things that you want in a job and that are no-goes for you. Things that if they don't give you, you would not accept the job. One of them is the salary, but another one could be remote work. If you're looking for a remote job and it's not remote, that's a no-go for you. Write them down because this will be important for the next step. The last thing here is that if you have something else like a GitHub which has very good projects, software projects, or you have done contributions to open source project or whatever, that's very good. But if you don't have them, it doesn't mind. You don't have to dedicate 3 months to start your own project where you create, I don't know, your backend, your frontend, your whatever. It doesn't mind. Even if you have done that, but you don't have that in a GitHub, you don't have to move it. Don't worry. I say this because a lot of companies ask you for a GitHub, but the reality is that almost no one has a good GitHub. Even I don't have a good GitHub. All the big projects that I've worked on were confidential, or they are not my property, they are not open source, they are not on my GitHub, I cannot show them. And still I've been able to get very good jobs. So if you have a GitHub with good projects, dedicate 1 day to clean them up, to make it pretty, and forget that, okay? You don't have to be working on a project while you do your job search. It will be more profitable to dedicate more time to generate new opportunities than to create your own project. Great, now you're ready to start generating opportunities. This is the system that I use to help software engineers to switch jobs and add $30,000 to their annual salary in just 3 months. These steps, the steps that I'm going to tell you to generate opportunities, are exactly the same steps that I gave to the people that I work with. If you don't want to do this alone and you want to do your job search with some guidance, check out the link on the description. Step 2, generating opportunities. I'm going to tell you a lot of things that you can do for generating opportunities, but the first one is mandatory. You have to dedicate 1 hour per day to apply on LinkedIn. In this hour, you have to be able to apply to 100 or 150 jobs. If you do the math, this is like 1 application per 20 or 30 seconds. What you have to do is to prepare your search on LinkedIn, and you go one by one, reading them, quickly reading that this is what you're looking for, and applying. Because of the previous step, you already have everything that you need to apply. And if you find an offer that is asking you for something else, you simply discard it. If you see that this offer is the best offer in the world, whatever, okay, you can save it for later. But you have to dedicate 1 hour to be like a robot, applying like a machine, applying very quickly, because this is a game of numbers. Just by the offer, it's very difficult to know if this job is a very good job for you, if the company is good, if the company is bad. You will find out that in the interview. Here, it's the moment for applying to everything. Now that you have dedicated this hour to apply on LinkedIn, if you have more time, you can dedicate your time to other actions that won't give you this much volume of applications on LinkedIn, but they usually give better jobs. I'm gonna give you a lot of examples of things that you can do. First, if you find these opportunities on LinkedIn that you believe that they are great, and they ask you for something else like a letter or something, and you want to do that, do it. I don't recommend that because in my experience these offers are not better than the others, and it's easier to apply to the others. Another thing that you can do is to apply to companies that don't have an open position for a job. If you like some company, you can go to them and ask them for a job. Your salary is usually not a big thing for the budget of a company, and if a company is growing and they know that maybe not now but they will need someone in the future, it's cheaper for them to hire you now and give you some work than waiting until that point and start doing a job search and finding someone, and a whole process that will dedicate time of 10 people in the company only for that. So going to them and say, hey, I want to work with you, is usually enough for them to hire you, because that shows from you proactivity, and proactivity is one of the hardest skills in the world to find. A good way to do that is to find the email of the CEO of that company and ask him that you want to work with him. How do you find that email? Okay, there are good tools, there are good online tools that you can use to find emails of people with some designation like CEO or COO, CTO, whatever. And they have a free plan of the first 500 people, the first 1,000 people. And if you want to ask to more people, maybe it costs you $10, $20, I don't know. It's cheap price for getting a job. Some of them are Apollo.io and Find.Lead. These tools are not made for people who are job hunting, are made for salesmen, but it's the same thing. It's actually easier because selling that you want to work with them is much easier than selling a product to a company. Another way that you can contact companies is by phone. These tools also give you the phone. It's usually not the phone of the person, it's a phone more generic, the phone of the company, but you can just call and say, hey, I want to speak with whoever. And they will ask you, hey, who are you, why? And you can say, it's about a job offer. And it's something that weird that for them will be like, they are asking for the boss about a job offer. They may ask this boss, hey, something about a job offer, and the boss say, what? Okay, give it to me. And then you already are speaking with the guy. So that's a pretty good way that you don't have to go out of your home and you can call a lot of different companies. And again, it shows proactivity. So there are some odds that you will get hired. One more way to find jobs is that if you live in a big city or you can travel to a big city, go there, and I think almost every day or almost every week, there will be events in technology, events in software, events in other industries like aerospace or automotive, I don't know, or even in marketing. There are a lot of software engineers working in marketing, and you can go there and present yourself to everyone. There are a lot of CEOs, CTOs, COOs that go to these events to different things. Some of them go for selling, and even some of them go for hiring. Some people of my company has gone to these conferences or these events to just show how cool is their company and try to hire the people that visit them. So go to events, present yourself to everyone, get their contact details, tell them there that you are looking for a job, and then at home with all their contact details, follow up, write their emails, call them, ask them. You will even have a database of contacts that you can call and you can follow up trying to find a job. If you do all of that, I'm sure that in a few weeks or in 1 month, you will have the week full of interviews. Now the question is, how do you pass from having the interview to getting the job? Okay, that's step 3. Step number 3, the interviews. When people get the first interview, there is an error that 95% of the people make. The error consists simply on forgetting the previous step. When most of the people get the first interview, what they do is that they put their energy on preparing the interviews, on going to the interviews, on doing everything that the people of the interview told them, which I'm not telling you that is wrong, but they forget to continue generating opportunities. And that makes the negotiation and everything is much more difficult because they don't have other opportunities. If they get rejected, they have to start again. And that's very frustrating because getting the first interviews is a bit difficult. But once that you have been applying a lot during a lot of time, these things that you have done in the past give you inertia. These things give you some momentum. So the most important part here when you start having interviews is to don't forget that you have to continue generating opportunities. You have to generate opportunities until the day that you get your job. This have another benefit, which is that you will be in your interviews much less nervous, because once that you have generated 5 opportunities and you have had 5 interviews, you are already more or less used to have interviews. And if your common life is to have 1 interview each day of the week, you won't be nervous at all. Maybe at the beginning, but then you will normalize this thing. However, if you put all your energy on an interview, your brain will be super scared. Your brain will be telling you, you cannot lose that, you cannot lose that, you cannot lose that. That will scare you, and your performance in the interview will be worse. Now, what are the specific actions that you have to do in the interviews? Well, the first one is to discard quickly. The first thing that you have to do is to discard quickly. This system is about numbers and increasing your odds of getting a good job. You have to generate a lot of opportunities, and we have seen already how to do that. And next one, from these opportunities, you have to select the good ones, because there will be a lot of opportunities that you have generated that are not good enough for you. Here's where you take the list with all the checks that a job has to have so you can accept it. Use that list for discarding quickly. In the first interview, you can ask about the salary, you can ask about the responsibilities, you can ask about if, I don't know, the work is remote or not. And if you see that they won't give you what you want, you just have to discard the offer. You go to the next one, because you will have a week full of interviews. Another reason to discard is that they start demanding you too much. Things like asking you for an IQ test, this is one thing that I've seen, or asking you things that don't make sense and they are not related about your job. Things like, what was your salary in your previous job? That doesn't make sense. This is not related to how much value you're going to give them now. These are things that are actually not related to what is going to be your role and why you are a good fit for them. Another thing here is the technical interviews. As you're looking for a job as a software engineer, they have to evaluate your technical skills. But the reality is that the technical skills are very easy to evaluate. Just speaking with a person with a 5-10 minutes conversation, it's enough to know what are the technical skills that that person has and how good learner he is. So these technical interviews that consist of doing a project during 48 hours or something will make you dedicate too much time to only one opportunity. If you see that it's a very good opportunity because it's an opportunity with, I don't know, Google, and you always have wanted to work with Google or whatever, okay, that's fine, do that. But if it is an unknown company, it's someone that you don't know, and they are just being super exigent, that's a red flag. Usually the people who want to go fast and they only ask you the right questions are the people who will pay you the best. And the people who are very picky with the people that they hire because they cannot make errors, they usually have less money. That's why they cannot make errors. The rule is the people who are less exigent hiring are the people who are going to pay you the best and who are going to give you less troubles. With this system, you don't have to be a good negotiator, because simply having a lot of opportunities will give you the confidence that you need to be a good negotiator. But anyway, there is a good tip that I like to give here for the negotiation and for the interviews. The tip is put the shit on the table at the beginning. Every excuse that you have found in previous interviews, or that you know that is something that some companies will discard you because of that, like can be that you don't have enough experience, or you are too old, too young, too thin, too fat, whatever, okay? Whatever you know that it's a defect, something that makes you more difficult to hire, it's something that you have to bring up at the beginning of the interview. Once they accept these things, all the rest is all the good things from you. And that's great, because if they accept your bad things, and the image that they will have from you is first someone that says the truth, and then someone that has good skills, because you will present your good skills. And that will give them a great image. They won't have to discover your bad things. You will say your bad things, and then you can sell yourself. Summing up, the system consists of generating opportunities like crazy, and then discarding those that are not giving us what we want. Every software engineer that I've seen applying this method has got a better job with a higher salary than they had before. But you have to be consistent. Job search is a frustrating process, especially at the beginning, because when you start applying, the first companies that answer you are the companies that are not going to hire you, because it's easier to discard you than to accept you. Rejecting is easy, but hiring is hard. So it's completely normal that at the beginning, in the first week, you don't have a lot of interviews. But if you keep applying this method and you don't make the errors that I've said before, I'm sure you will succeed. That's why it's important to have someone that can guarantee you that you are going to make it. I help software engineers to switch jobs and add $30,000 to their annual salary in just 3 months. If you're interested, check out the description, thefreeengineer.com. There you can book a call with me to see if I can help you. Bye.